Hello, my name is Brianna Sinclair, and this is my 14th week on HRT. Um, my quick measurements update. My hips are at 34 and a quarter. My bust is at 34 and 5/8, and my waist is at 25 and a half. So not really a whole lot of change between this week and last week, but definitely confirms that my bust is growing due to the growth in my chest. My emotional changes, I think, have pretty much leveled off. Just, just because I think I'm used to it at this point. I can control my emotions. I feel like just as well, if not more so. I'm just feeling more in touch with them. Is kind of what I would say because it is easier for me to feel my emotions and stuff like that. And it feels good. Like, it does feel good to be able to cry whenever I know I should be sad and not feel like some kind of outcast because I can't. I can control my anger and stuff more than originally whenever I first started because, sorry, my hair's kind of a mess. I tried to do it as best I could, but she's a problem. She's having a time right now. But yeah, initially whenever I first started, I was an emotional wreck because my body wasn't used to being able to feel everything. Are you gonna join me on this one too? You're just gonna be in all of them, aren't you? Yeah. um, my physical strength is depleting. I can feel it because I've started to move a lot of stuff, and I moved most of the stuff in my room in here, and now I'm trying to move it back to create more space for myself and get kind of move the things that I don't use on a regular basis out. And it's harder for me to do those things, unfortunately, which is fine. Because it just means I gotta be smarter about how I move things. I can't just brute force it anymore. I have to be smart and use a dolly, use leverage, and actually use my brain whenever it comes to moving. Oh shoot. Um I think my sex drive is kind of teetered back to where it was. It's just more difficult in the as always. It is significantly more difficult to do anything. But um, it's not a super big problem for me. And initially I did kind of hope it would drop a bit and go away, and it did initially, and then it kind of came back, I guess. I don't know what the issue with that is. It's just where I'm at. Let's see. I feel like I should start making a list so I don't forget to talk about something. Those are pretty much it for the emotional changes, the physical changes, and stuff like that. My chest still does hurt. Every now and again. Sometimes it's a discomfort. Other times I don't feel anything until something touches them, and then they really hurt. And then rarely it is a stabbing pain in my chest, which is not very fun. However, I fix it. Usually I just holding it and massaging my chest for just a second, um, until so that it goes away and it stops. And then I use a heated blanket to kind of comfort my chest, I guess, a little bit. My bust is definitely growing. It's very small, but it's growing. Hey, buddy. They're like slightly bigger. My breast tissue is like slightly bigger than like a little pizza roll, I guess. It's not a lot, but it's what I got, and I never really expected to get a lot in like growth because my whole family's very flat-chested, so the fact that I got any this early on, I was really thankful for. I am still waiting on my exception to policy. I'm gonna call my administrative person I'm dealing with. Can you stop messing with the camera, buddy? You don't need to mess with the tripod. I'm gonna call him next week and ask him where it's at, so that way we can kind of get a hold on it. Say hi to everybody. Yeah, my exception to policy is still the last bit that I need, and then I still have to wait the remainder of the 52 weeks to start my surgical transition, and I do plan to inform everybody on how that goes and stuff like that, because the purpose of my channel is education for those watching, and for me it's an outlet to kind of express myself, because it just makes me feel good. I do get dressed up on like the weekends and stuff because I have time to, and then like I make my videos where I dress the way I want to. I don't follow any form of dress code or anything like that, and can express myself freely. And that's what these videos are to me. It's the diary of like my transitional journey. And even though mine's going to be different than the next person's, who's going to be different than the next person's, this one is mine, and I'm hoping that after everything's all said and done, it'll still be useful to somebody. Because if we go through similar things, they're not the same though. And at the very least, my surgical videos, I sure hope help everybody, because I had a rough time trying to prepare and get everything, and I'm still preparing in many ways. I'm still buying things, I'm still doing research and stuff like that, trying to figure out the best way to heal, the quickest way to heal, the best way to reduce like scarring and stuff like that, because FFS is very invasive. There's a lot that goes into it, and so a BBL is too. And the breast augmentation, though done more routinely, is also pretty invasive. So all of the surgeries are really invasive. As far as like severity, I don't think you can get any more invasive than SRS or GRS, because you're reconstructing somebody's genitals. And in my case, they would take what I have and they would flip it inside out and loop it in a different way that is kind of different depending on the method that they use, because there are various different types of methods for GRS and SRS. To where you can get like different forms of depth and functionality. Under that, I would rank FFS, because even though it's a bunch of like little surgeries, it's a one big operation, because a lot goes into it. There's the brow shave, the blepharoplasty, the rhinoplasty, the tracheal shave, and some may do the voice surgery if they allow it at that time. So there's like vocal cords that they will cut, shorten, or soften. It, or like not soften, but kind of relax, because I've heard them injecting it's like fillers or something in there to kind of freeze your vocal cords. That way, it seems, from what it sounds like the what you're used to using to give you that more masculine voice atrophies away, and you essentially are left with just the muscles that give you a feminine voice. You can do a jaw shave, and stuff like that, to rearrange your jaw and stuff like that, as well as your chin can be changed as well. There's a lip, you can do lip implants and lip lift and stuff like that, as well as a facelift. And there's also the hairline advancement or reduction, depending on like where you want, like I guess the volume of your forehead. So it's a lot. Not everybody's gonna need all of them, but it's an overarching term that defines these are the things that can help feminize the facial features. One that I didn't mention is also like the transfer of fat to the temples, because that does kind of help round out the face and give it a little bit more of a rounded feature instead of like very chiseled out. And then a BBL I would rank immediately underneath that, because even though that is kind of isolated, it affects like the biggest portions of your body. So it's like the torso, it can affect the back. I've seen it affect the arms, all to draw adipose tissue or fat tissue out, so that way you can implant it into the into essentially your butt to help give it more volume and stuff like that. And for transgender individuals, it would help round out and fill in the dents that I know as like boy dents on like the side, to help round it out and make it more feminine. And then after that is the breast augmentation, and that's pretty self-explanatory, and the reason why it's just an enlargement of like the breast tissue via implant, and of the patient's choosing, to an extent. I have heard of people getting fat implanted there to help grow the breast tissue more naturally. So if you gain weight in the form of like fat, it would be deposited there, because your body will, to keep that tissue alive, it'll navigate blood vessels to that portion to help keep that tissue alive. I don't know a whole lot about that one, as I don't see it done as much, so I don't know how effective it is, or how what the recovery is like, as well as like the complications. But as far as implants go, I would like a lip implant because I have very thin lips. And I would like a high profile, non-textured silicone implant, so that way they sit up a little bit. There's a low risk of me getting implant sickness because they're not textured, and if it busts, it's saline, so it's like salt water. So it's not a huge issue, whereas like if it's silicone, since it's a foreign substance, the body typically doesn't know how to deal with it. It does stay together a little bit more. Having said that, it can also cause a lot of damage because it's something that your body doesn't really know how to deal with internally. I think that's pretty much it for that portion. I want to make sure I covered everything. Anybody? Let's see. Yeah, this is week 14 of 52. It feels really good to be this far along, to be honest with you. I do have some friends that are considerably farther along and are still in only the hormone phase, and they're so happy with it. One of them actually reached out to me and asked me how I was doing, and I was actually very happy that they did, just because it feels good to be able to talk to somebody who knows exactly what I'm going through a lot of the time, because whenever I talk to my friends, they don't fully understand everything because they went through a different form of like change and stuff like that. Because the girls I talked to, they didn't have to go through a male puberty, so they didn't have everything that like I'm going through right now. And then for the boys I talk to, they're at a loss because they don't go through this. But most of them do find it like really intriguing and stuff like that. And most don't really care that I'm doing it. I do get misgendered still, and it's perfectly fine to me because I do present as a boy. I walk around with short hair because I don't really have a choice in that matter, but my exception to policy will hopefully change that. And I don't like to wear wigs because I do for my videos because it makes me feel good. But whenever I walk around, I just don't like the way the netting looks. And that's my personal choice. Excuse me. But even with my short hair, I still get called ma'am a good bit of the time because I feel like people are recognizing that like I am presenting as a woman, and if I'm presenting as a woman, I do hope to be addressed as such. Do I expect it? I'm not going to expect anything from anybody because I don't want to be disappointed. But that's not going to keep me from doing my makeup, going out, and having a good time. I still have my main career that's working on my exception of policy, which is good. I think I have my contract with them. I have for another 5.5 years, 5 years, 4.5 years. And then I still work at the makeup store, which helps me a lot. I get compliments on my makeup, telling me I look beautiful. I look good in my makeup. I'm getting better at my makeup. It just feels really good to and I'm good at it. I'm good at what I do there, and I may just work at the cash register, but I set the example for a lot of people in the field, and it makes me feel good that I can do that. I'm not really good at things like that. I've never been more than just average at anything except giving effort. And now this, it makes me feel really good. And they celebrate my accomplishments, which helps me. It helps me to know that what I do actually matters to somebody, if not just me. And it helps me, like, with my financial stability and stuff like that, because I did have to take a little bit of a pay cut because my diagnosis of gender dysphoria, since it's a medical condition, causes me to lose certain pays, and so working at the makeup store that I do helped supplement the pay that I lost and replaced it, and gave me a bit more to work with, and I'm thankful for it because my managers love me and they understand what I'm going through, because I'm not the first transgender person that they've had. I'm the only one that they currently have, but I'm not the only one. They constantly talk about another transgender girl that used to work there, and if I ever needed any tips, I could go to her, because she just she still works with the company. She's at a different store, and I haven't gone to her yet because I just feel like if I went up to her or any transgender person and just asked them, like, hey, I recognize that you're transgender, do you have any tips? I feel like it would be calling them out in a roundabout way, saying that they're not passing well enough, and I don't want to remind anybody that they're transgender. That's not the purpose. We know that. We know that we're transgender. We know that we were born male, as much as we wish we weren't. And that's why I don't really ask a whole lot of questions in that sense, even though I do encourage people to ask me questions, and they're more than welcome to ask me questions in private if they reach out and request to do so, so that way they can get help and not be, like, looked down upon. Because the point of this channel, for those that choose to watch, is to be a safe place and a place where people can learn and help each other. That's what I'm trying to start with this channel. If it goes into that, like, if it develops into that, like, that's perfect. I would love that. My expectations for it are only what I put into it. And yeah. My wife, I think she wants to join on some of the videos, so she might join at some point in time. When, I'm not sure, but I know that she might like it. She's a little bit more she's not as soft spoken as me and has no problem speaking her mind, just like me. She's just a lot more forward with it. But I hope that whenever she comes on and y'all get to meet her, I hope that y'all enjoy it. So I know I'm going to. Fendi, you tired over there? What are you doing? Get over here. Get over here, buddy. Come here. Oh, I got you. Yes, I got you. Oh. You want to see a boy? You got anything to say? No? He likes his attention. Anyway, I think that's pretty much all I've got. I've been trying to change my wardrobe a little bit, in advance. And I know this isn't like the most flattering thing I've worn, but I try. I try. And I've still got to rebuild my whole wardrobe. I'm just kind of waiting. And so I can pick things that are actually me. My wife's really good at that. She picks all the best clothes for me. And always knows how to fit me and stuff like that. And it's always a good time. Anyway, if you have questions, please feel free to ask, reach out. Please like, comment, subscribe if you like what you see. If you want to see something specific, please let me know. So that way I can cater to that. I have only had one request, and that's for like a makeup tutorial. And that is still in the works. I just need to get to a point where I'm comfortable showing my full face on here without makeup, because this is my feminine spot. And me kind of showing that does kind of like take away from that a little bit. But I promised I would do it, and I intend to. So I'm keeping track. So please like, comment, subscribe, ask questions, feel free to. Live free, be bold. This is Brianna Sinclair, signing off.